Hello, my friend of karmic affinity. Have you ever woken up in the morning and, despite not having done any heavy labor yet, your body felt shattered and your mind exhausted? Or are there nights when you lie in bed, your body craving rest, but your mind races relentlessly with scenarios of tomorrow and risks that have never even occurred? You ask yourself, why am I so tired? My dear friend, that exhaustion does not come from physical labor. It comes from the invisible burden you are carrying. It is the weight of anxiety. We often mistakenly believe that worrying is a responsible act, that if we worry enough, we can control the future. But the harsh truth is, worrying never makes tomorrow less troubled. It only steals the strength and joy of today. In the wisdom of Buddhism, or the Daily Dharma lessons we share, it is not life that makes us suffer. It is the mind that refuses to stop, constantly chasing ghosts of fear. That is the source of suffering. But there will come a day, a special day, when you realize you are too tired to continue tensing up. You decide to stop. You decide to let go. And, strangely, Junin Sefer, at the very moment you stop worrying, everything in your life begins to fall into its rightful place. The paradox of letting go. Why worrying is never the solution. My dear friend, let us look deeply into the nature of anxiety. We often mistake worrying for a way to solve problems, believing that the more stressed we are, the more responsible we are. But in reality, anxiety is not preparation for the future. It is absence from the present. When your mind projects onto future risks, it leaves the body, leaves the breath, and leaves a void of confusion right here. In the view of Daily Dharma, when the mind is stretched like a string about to snap, you cannot see things as they truly are. You only see your own fear projected onto them. A restless mind generates delusions, while a still mind generates wisdom. When you worry, you are like someone trying to find a needle at the bottom of a lake, but your limbs keep thrashing, causing the mud to swirl up. The more you struggle and panic, the murkier the water becomes, and the bleaker everything seems. The only way to see the bottom of the lake, to find a solution, is not to stir it harder, but to stop. Let the glass of the mind sit still on the table. Over time, the silt will naturally settle to the bottom, and the inherent clarity of the water will appear. Then, without effort, you can see through everything. Please engrave this in your heart. Letting go of worry is not giving up or being irresponsible toward life. Letting go is the act of returning the mind to its most lucid state. When the noise in your head settles, that is when wisdom begins to speak, and the best solutions will automatically appear. The first moment of letting go, the invisible inner decision. My dear friend, for true transformation to occur, it requires a moment of decision from deep within you. Imagine you are climbing a steep mountain of life. On your shoulders is a giant, heavy backpack. But inside that backpack, there is no food or water necessary for the journey. Instead, it is full of sharp boulders. This stone is named fear of tomorrow. That stone is named remorse over the past. And the heaviest stone at the bottom is named the need to control everything. You hunch your back, walking in exhaustion, blurred by sweat and tears. You think you must carry them to be safe. You believe if you put them down, you will lose everything. But a subtle and sacred moment will come. It is when you are too tired of being afraid that you stop, look at the stones, and suddenly realize a shocking truth. No matter how much you worry, you cannot control the wind's direction or stop the rain. These stones do not protect you. They are only pinning you to the ground. In the light of daily Dharma, letting go does not mean you lose something precious. Letting go is the courageous act of putting down things you were never meant to carry. It is the moment you unbuckle the backpack straps from your shoulders, hear the stones hit the ground, and feel a lightness spread across your chest. You stand up straight, taking a deep breath of free air. You haven't lost strength. On the contrary, you have reclaimed your entire life energy from the hands of fear. That is the invisible yet greatest decision to start a lighter life. Action without compulsion, the art of the open hand. Once the burden is set down, perhaps a concern arises within you. Will letting go make me passive, irresponsible, or indifferent to life? My dear friend, please understand this thin but grand boundary. Letting go of anxiety does not mean you stop acting. It means you stop acting out of fear and start acting from mindfulness and wholeness. Observe the difference between these two mindsets. When you act from fear, your mind screams, "I must achieve this at all costs, or I will collapse." That very attachment creates pressure, making you tense and easily exhausted. But in the spirit of daily Dharma, we shift to the mindset, "I will do my best with all my heart," and I calmly accept the result. You still strive, still contribute, but you no longer grip the result in your hand like a soul life buoy. Imagine you are trying to hold a handful of cool water in your palm. If, out of fear of losing the water, you use muscular force to clench your hand into a fist, the water will leak through the cracks of your fingers and flow away. The more force you use, the more you lose everything. But if you relax, gently cupping your hand into a bowl shape to cherish it, the water will stay, still, full, and shimmering. Letting go in action is that open hand. It is the softest, yet most solid state. You work, you love, you care for your life, not through stressful compulsion, but through natural flow. When you stop clenching your hands, you do not lose strength. On the contrary, that is when you begin to truly breathe. Again, and life begins to flow through you in the most complete and miraculous way. 3 daily Dharma practices to dissolve anxiety. To turn these philosophies into a protective shield in daily life, I invite you to practice the 3 steps of daily Dharma's mental transformation. These are 3 golden keys to open the escape door whenever anxiety visits. The first step is recognition and reflection. When a storm of worry begins to rise in your heart, please do not immediately believe it. Pause for a beat. Step back and ask yourself this important question. Is this problem actually happening right before my eyes, right now? Or is it just a story the mind is weaving? You will be surprised to realize that 90% of fears are just ghosts of the imagination. When you can name the truth that this is just a thought, not reality, the power of anxiety is immediately stripped away. You detach yourself from the storm to become the deep blue sky, observing the dark cloud pass by. The second step is returning to the body through breath. While your mind is projecting into the distant future, your body always remains loyal to the present. The breath is the firmest anchor to keep the boat of your soul from being swept away by waves. Take a deep breath, feel the cool air enter your chest, and exhale slowly to relax your tensed shoulders. Tell yourself, "I am here. I am safe. Just 3 deep, conscious breaths will signal safety to your nervous system, automatically switching from alarm mode to relaxation mode. The breath is home. Return there whenever you feel lost. And the third step, the most important for continuing to live, is completing your part. Instead of being paralyzed by the giant picture of your whole life, shrink your focus down to the smallest task happening before you. Do not try to solve the problems of 10 years from now in a single day. Just wash the bowl in your hand thoroughly. Just write an email with care. Just take this step firmly. When you pour your entire mind into the present action, anxiety will have no space to exist. You do your part with all sincerity, and then smile, and let life take care of the rest. That is how we live vibrantly, without having to tense up. When the mind changes, life also changes. My dear friend, when you begin to stop resisting and put down redundant anxieties, a miraculous yet very natural transformation will silently occur within you. Please do not misunderstand that letting go will bring a mystical miracle that makes all troubles in life suddenly vanish like smoke. It is not so. The bills are still there. The challenges at work remain. And difficult people may not have changed their ways. The external world might be exactly the same as yesterday, but your internal world is completely different. When your mind becomes lighter, your perception changes. Previously, when encountering something unfavorable, your reflex was to tense up, panic, and fight back fiercely as if hitting a stone wall. But now, your reaction becomes softer and more flexible, like water bending to flow through rocky crevices. You no longer view difficulty as an enemy to be destroyed, but see it as an inevitable part of life's flow that needs to be passed through. And the miracle lies in the fact that when you stop dramatizing problems with anxious interpretations, the 1,000-pound weight of those problems suddenly disappears. The problem is still there, but it no longer crushes you to the ground. You can look straight at it and handle it calmly without being swallowed by it. Engrave a profound truth of Daily Dharma. Peace does not come to clear away all obstacles on your path. Peace comes to clear away the suffering surrounding those obstacles. When you stop fighting life, you will be amazed to realize that life has never been fighting you. It is only waiting for you to relax, so it can support you through the roughest turns peacefully. That is the most deserving reward for a soul that knows how to let go and trust. My dear friend, closing today's journey, I hope you carry a firm belief in your heart that life has never had and will never have the intention of working against you. The difficulties and obstacles you face are not poisonous arrows, but necessary lessons for your soul to mature and deepen. The reason we feel suffering and exhaustion is simply because our minds have not yet agreed to stop, have not yet agreed to let go of resistance, to harmonize with the natural flow. Let the spirit of Daily Dharma become your close companion in each coming day. No need for elaborate or complex rituals. You only need to remember these 4 simple words as a compass for your consciousness. Breathe, to return to the safety of the present. See, to clearly distinguish reality from imaginary fear. Do, to dedicate yourself fully to this moment. And finally, let go, to trust absolutely in the arrangement of the universe. When you live fully with those 4 rhythms, each passing day will be a day of true relief and freedom. If this video has been a peaceful stop for your soul, please sow a seed of commitment by leaving a comment below. Write that, I choose to trust the flow, to anchor this intention. And hit the subscribe button as a promise to yourself that whenever you are weary, you will always have a peaceful place to return to for refuge. May you always have enough courage to let go and enough faith to be supported by life. Goodbye, and see you again in serenity.